everywhere. GBS.
A very good evening. You are just in time for GBS News at 9. My name is Beatrice Njeri. Our sign language interpreter is Paul Mathenge. Do keep your comments coming in through our SMS line 21144 and GBS TV Africa on all our social media handles. And now, Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki has said that the future border control and management will be driven by digital technology, data, and artificial intelligence. Speaking on Tuesday, when he opened the inaugural National Border Management Conference in Nairobi, he further noted that while the traditional security hardware will remain crucial for countries in the immediate future, the border of the future is going to be secure but contactless, with minimal human interaction for checks and controls. Here is more on the same. Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki presided over the inaugural National Border Management Conference in Nairobi on Tuesday. The border management programs aims to further strengthen the national security.
Kenya has become a case study in border management, and we've had delegations from across the world coming to see what we've been able to do.
Speaking during the conference, Kindiki noted that borders also present challenges in the form of transitional crime, terrorism, and other illicit activities that threaten the safety and security of the people, further noting that to keep the borders safe and secure for Kenyans and the neighboring countries, the government has made significant investments in equipping the security agencies with the latest technology and resources to combat complex security threats such as terrorism, human trafficking, and trafficking in narcotics.
Because of the complexity of the security threats that we continue to face across the world, there is need for huge investments in border control technology. And for many countries, including countries that are fairly well off economically, managing borders in the light of modern threats requires huge resources, and not many countries are able to put together the kind of technology that is required for effective border control and management, including the virtual border.
The event brought together delegates from the United Republic of Tanzania, the Federal Republic of Somalia, the Republic of South Sudan, Federal Republic of Ethiopia, and the Republic of Uganda. Principal Secretaries Dr. Raymond Omolo of Internal Security and National Administration, Professor Julius Bitok of Immigration and Citizen Services, Abdi Dubat of the East African Community, and development partners were also in attendance. The northern region grapples with persistent insecurity marked by school burning, killings, and family displacements, raising concerns among residents and officials alike. Inspector General of Police Japhet Koeme's recent visit to Baringo underscored intensified efforts against banditry, with stern warning issued to perpetrators. As part of the efforts to combat insecurity, a multi-agency command center has been established for Isiolo, Meru, Laikipia, and Samburu counties. Susan Nganga with the details.
The persistent insecurity in the northern region, characterized by the burning of schools, killing and displacement of families, remains a significant concern for both residents and government officials. Efforts to tackle the rampant banditry have escalated, with various measures aimed at restoring peace and stability. Inspector General of Police Japhet Koome, accompanied by senior officers from Nairobi, recently visited parts of Baringo to reinforce ongoing operation against banditry.
Hatutakubali wachache waanza kuumiza wananchi, kufanya nchi yetu, kaunti zetu kama Baringo ama Turkana ionekane is insecure. We have tourists. We cannot have investors. The message is enough is enough. They have crossed the red line. And the truth is, this is now a matter of ruthless. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you?
Very good.
Speaking at Kabarnet County Police Headquarters, the Inspector General reiterated that law enforcement agencies have been instructed to deal decisively with those behind the menace. As part of the efforts to combat insecurity, a multi-agency command center has been established.
Again, wakichukua mifugo na kuumiza wananchi. Kwa hivyo tumeongeza zile county mbili za Meru na Isiolo. But is an unusual moment. It will call for unusual strategies. Please, let me not qualify what I'm saying.
President William Ruto also convened a meeting of top security officials to address the security situation in the North Rift region and explore potential solutions. In response to the escalating crisis, leaders have called for decisive government interventions. Senate Majority Leader Aaron Cheriot criticized Inspector General of Police Japhet Koome for what he perceived as a failure to intensify efforts to restore peace in the Kerio Valley.
You know, the office of the Inspector General is an independent office. Saa ingine mimi naona watu wanatafuta Kindiki, wanasema sijui nani. Nilikuwa nataka nikuulize, na ule mtu tulipea kazi ya Inspector General alikuwa anaitwa Koome, alienda wapi? Mbona sisikii sauti yake? How can you be Inspector General of Police and Kenyans are being killed and maimed every day by watu wanapigwa risasi na hatusikii chochote? In fact, mwambie tafadhali atoke Jogoo House hapo pahali yako na tusikie akizungumza from Kerio Valley where our brothers and sisters are being murdered and killed every day. Kama ameshindwa na hiyo kazi ya kuchunga amani Kenya yetu, then aondoke tu kwa ofisi, tupate watu wengine who can ensure that the lives of our people are safe.
In February 2023, the Interior Ministry declared the security situation in Turkana, West Pokot, Elgeyo Marakwet, Laikipia, Samburu, and Baringo as a security emergency owing to the many banditry attacks. Susan Nganga, GBS News.
President William Ruto chaired the United Democratic Alliance National Steering Committee meeting at the party's headquarters. The head of state was accompanied by his deputy Rigathi Gachagua and the party's Secretary General Cleophas Malala, among other leaders allied to the party. Tuesday's meeting holds significant importance as it will determine whether the elections will proceed as planned or face further postponement. The ongoing talks centered on the grassroots elections, which were postponed to April 26, 2024. Ruto is expected to give a way forward on how the elections will be held. Initially, the elections had been moved to December 9th by Ruto in an announcement made in November. At the time, the party's SG Malala announced positions that were up for grabs and asked interested candidates to submit applications by November 2nd, 2000.
Good. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We have democracy is anchored on, as we all know, it is not possible to run a democratic country harnessing public opinion, the different issues that are identified. Okay, Madam Chair. Thank you, Bwana Vice Chair.
Top government officials and church leaders on Sunday urged the National Cereals and Produce Board to take legal action against fake fertilizer supplier cartels. This comes weeks after fake fertilizer supplied to the National Cereals and Produce Board was sold to farmers in different regions across the country. Davis Karani with more details.
Fake fertilizer scandal is the latest scandal to spur the air in the country, which has caused reaction among Kenyan leaders from all categories. While speaking in Bomet, the Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi urged the National Cereals and Produce Board to take a legal action against all the cartels involved in the supply since the details are on record.
Kwa hii mambo ya fertilizer, kwa sababu nataka nilenge direct. We are telling the National Cereals and Produce Board, do not delay, because you know, if you follow the supply chain properly, you know, munajua, which consignment was brought in by who.
The Prime Cabinet Secretary either urged the National Cereals and Produce Board to act faster in order to avoid food insecurity in the country.
Let us make sure that the law follows these people so that they are charged in a court of law and prosecuted so that they don't bring messes in the food security area.
On the other hand, the Senate Majority Leader Senator Aaron Cheruiyot was not left behind in the war against fake fertilizer, as he urged all the government entities to be guarded safely to build trust from the public.
That's why we must guard government entities. NCPB stores zetu, those must be guarded like a holy sanctity. Ndio tupeane mbolea hapo na tupeane seedlings mzuri.
Father Nicholas Makau from Mukima Parish in Embu County urged the president to take a serious action against cartels at National Cereals and Produce Board because they can cause a major blow to the entire nation.
Kumesha mbolea hii badia the fake fertilizer kwa sababu kuingia kwake katika soko sio tu kwa sehemu fulani, lakini ikisambaa njaa ndio imefungua, tumesikia tukielezwa. Na sio njaa tu, hata maisha yetu pale tegemeo letu ambao ni ukulima tutakuwa hatuna namna yake kesho.
Davis Karani, GBS News, Nairobi.
The Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union threats issued by various county governors, management of national referral hospitals and Ministry of Health demanding doctors to return to work under duress. They denounce such attempts to intimidate and coerce their members into abandoning their legitimate struggle for better working conditions and healthcare services for all Kenyans. Doctors deserve decent and dignified work. Led by Secretary General Dr. Davji Atela, he said that it is deeply disappointing that instead of addressing the critical issues raised by the strike notice, the employers have chosen to resort to threats and intimidation tactics. He advised employers to focus their attention and efforts on addressing the myriad of issues affecting the healthcare workers in their respective places of work, national and county institutions. They equally cautioned against the misuse of court orders to coerce the union into suspending the strike.
There can be no in the sun, yet force on earth is weaker than the feeble strength of one. For the union makes us strong. Solidarity, solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Union makes us strong. Solidarity, solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever.
Settle the outstanding 7 years basic salary arrears owed to doctors. Any governor who is actually trying to threaten or to intimidate doctors, he should intimidate them with checks that have 7 years arrears instead of Shoko's letters and mere theatrics. Number 2, expedite the promotions of all doctors who are due for promotions. We have doctors who have stagnated for 10 years, 15 years in the entry levels. And some governors have moral authority to stand in cameras and threaten them. It's a shame. We have doctors who do not have comprehensive medical cover. And therefore, we are demanding that any county or any employer who wishes to demand doctors back to work need to provide this comprehensive medical cover. We want the issues of salaries to be addressed. It is a sad state that we are seated in Kirinyaga today talking with doctors who have not seen salaries for the last 65 days, who don't know even when the salary for February will come. So it's sad for the counties to say they have no problems when there's always perennial delays of salaries. There's perennial delay of payment of certain deductions. We can't allow that. We have doctors who have been on contracts. They have never been promoted. 5 years contracts, 6 years contracts, particularly in Kirinyaga and other counties in the country. We demand for these doctors to be given the right contracts or the right terms. Doctors here and in parts of the country are not allowed to go for studies, yet we need specialists in the country. And therefore, we're also demanding for doctors to be released for postgraduate training. For Kirinyaga particularly, doctors were fired illegally and irregularly in 2019. These doctors were reinstated by Public Service Commission. There are court orders that was adopted by On Marete regarding these doctors. We want those doctors reinstated. We need to focus on implementation of our demands rather than theatrics. I also want to reiterate that as a union, we are tired of slavery. We have doctors in postgraduate training in KNH, MTRH, QTRH, who deserve to be paid their dues. They cannot slave any longer. Lastly, the issue of interns. We have said it all along. There is no way government that has decided to manipulate CBA, to step on it, to use it as a tissue paper, will demand for us to go back to work when they have not implemented it. They have to post medical interns as per the CBA. And this has to be done. So there is no amount of threats and intimidation, as I say, that will make us go back to work unless these things are done. We equally caution against the misuse of courts to cause the union into suspending the strike. While we respect the judiciary highly, it is unacceptable for employers who are in contempt of court orders to weaponize the legal system against the doctors fighting for their decent and dignified work. Our strike is a constitutional right. It's just equal as right to life. And therefore, I don't think there's any coercions or any amount of intimidation that will take that away from us. He who comes to the court must come with clean hands. They have to obey the court orders that are demanding them to implement the CBAs before they mention any court orders. Strikes are fundamental tools and cornerstone of collective bargaining.
Do keep your comments coming in through our SMS line 21144 and GBS TV Africa on all our social media handles. On that note, let us take our very fast break. We'll be right back with even more.
So through the four gospel books, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, John, we can know the heart of Jesus in depth.
그리고 우리가 느끼는 그 예수님을 성경을 통해 느낄 수 있어서 너무 감사합니다.
And the Jesus that we can feel him through the scriptures, and I'm very thankful about that. Jesus Christ came to this earth for our sins.
지셨고,
he carried our sins.
십자가에 못 박혀 죽어 죄의 형벌을 당하셨고,
and he was crucified, and he received the punishment for sins.
무덤에 들어가셨다가,
and he was put into the tomb.
사흘 만에 부활하셨습니다.
and resurrected in 3 days.
이것이 우리가 말하는 복음입니다.
This is the gospel that we speak.
예수님께 우리 죄를 위해 죽으신 이야기.
About how Jesus died for our sins. The purpose of Jesus being crucified.
우리 죄를 담당하기 위하여 십자가에 못 박혀 죽으셨습니다.
He was crucified to pay for our sins.
예수님 십자가에 못 박혀 죽으심으로 우리 죄가 분명히 씻어졌는데.
And through Jesus being crucified, clearly our sins have been washed clean.
참 안타깝게도 많은 사람은 여전히 죄인이라고 말합니다.
However, unfortunately, many people still say that they are sinners.
My name is Eugene Kwach, and this is The Insider. Of course, you're watching GBS TV.
Since independence, we have a tax rate that is above 30% for individuals, which is around 35%. And when you look at the region, I think we are among the countries that have the highest income tax rates for individuals in Africa. Tax can only be punitive when, number one, it's not aligned to what we call the canons of taxation or the principles of taxation. The biggest issue is how those borrowings are actually utilized. And then number two, if at all we can try and have a balance between how much you are borrowing and the size of our GDP. If you are running a business or an individual that wants to be very certain about the future and about the continuity of the business, then it's important for you to ensure you're tax compliant to avoid that uncertainty and to avoid your business from being shut down for tax compliance issues.
Everywhere. GBS.
Welcome back. You're still watching GBS News 9. Watu Credit Kenya and Boda Boda Association of Kenya have partnered to host a series of financial literacy clinics for Boda Boda motorbike riders, which aims to empower the riders with essential financial literacy skills to manage their finances effectively. The first round of the clinics was held today in Molo Town, Nakuru County. Here are the details.
Aiming to empower Boda Boda riders with finance management skills, Watu Credit Kenya and Boda Boda Association of Kenya have partnered to host a series of financial literacy clinics for the riders. By holding such clinics, Watu, who is an asset financing company, aims to ensure timely loan repayments, reduce instances of repossessions, and ultimately empower riders to achieve financial stability and responsible financial practices.
In this program, we are looking at so many things. Awareness creation on many things. We are now empowering the Boda Boda riders with a lot of knowledge in terms of savings, in terms of accessing credit, in terms of taking care of their bikes, in terms of securing their bikes, but also importantly, leadership.
You know how credit has changed, so down payments have changed. The price of a new motorbike cash is really expensive now, simply because of what is happening to our economic environment at this particular point. We are impacted because of that, because eventually we are financiers.
The Boda Boda sector plays a crucial role in Kenya, supporting over 1.2 million individuals in accessing employment opportunities, transporting goods and providing essential services.
So through this partnership, tunaona kwamba Boda Boda sector ina reform. Kwa maana wakituleta pamoja hivi, hapa ndo tunapata mafunzo. DCC ameongea, OCS ameongea, security agencies zimekuwa hapa, partners wengine wameongea na sisi, tukapata mafunzo courtesy of the Watu Credit. So we want to applaud the work that they are doing, na tunawahimiza kwamba waendelee kufanya hivyo katika counties zingine, ndio vijana wetu wapate information. Knowledge is power.
With the introduction of non-financial initiatives, including the introduction of electric motorbikes, the establishment of Boda Boda riding school to reduce accidents, the development of charging and battery swapping stations, and introduction of a pre-owned motorbikes, Watu has undertaken various initiatives to support the Boda Boda sector. Hilary Kabila, GBS News.
Today we bring you a remarkable tale that unfolded 2 decades ago involving a prank that turned into a revolution in the world of technology. It was April Fool's Day 2004 when the tech world was rocked by what appeared to be a grand jest from the Google, with Larry Page and Sergey Brin, known for their love of pranks, unveiling what they claimed to be a free email service named Gmail. However, what seemed like a joke turned out to be a groundbreaking innovation that changed the landscape of online communication forever, with Gmail now offering a staggering 1 GB of storage per account, an amount unheard of in the realm of webmail services at that time, which was 250 to 500 times more than what the leading webmail services provided. But the surprises of the April Fool's joke didn't end there, though. Here is more on the same.
Not only did Gmail provide massive storage capacity, but it also integrated the Google search technology, allowing users to quickly retrieve information from their emails. Additionally, it introduced the concept of threading, organizing related emails into coherent conversations. The announcement of Gmail caught many off guard. In fact, when the Associated Press published a story about it, readers thought it was an April Fool's joke. However, a visit to the Google's headquarters in the Mountain View, California, confirmed the reality of this groundbreaking service.
I got down to what is now known as the Googleplex.
I was ushered through the corridors into a small office where Google co-founder Larry Page was sitting with an impish grin on his face and sitting in front of a laptop computer. And he said he wanted to show me something. And he did a demo for me of Gmail. And he just kind of smiled and said, I think people are really going to like this. And they did it.
In a small office at the Googleplex, Larry Page himself demonstrated the Gmail's capabilities to an AP reporter, marking the beginning of a new era in the online communication. And with many of the Google innovations, Page's prediction proved to be right, making Gmail a major phenomenon. Fast forward to today, Gmail boasts of an estimated 1.8 billion active accounts, each equipped with 15 gigabytes of the free storage. Yet, even with this generous offering, users continue to clamor for more space, a testament to the service's enduring popularity.
A lot of people today kind of take Gmail for granted, and it's so widely used with about 1.8 billion active accounts. You kind of take it for granted, but you got to remember it was introduced 20 years ago, and at that time, there was really no good email services you could get through a web browser.
From Google Maps to YouTube, Chrome browser, Google's empire now continues to grow, shaping the digital landscape with its profound impacts. Now, as all reflect on the journey of Gmail, from prank to powerhouse, it remains clear that innovation knows no bounds. Even on April's Fool's Day, a prank can turn into a revolution. Jennifer Macau, GBS News.
Rwanda's President Paul Kagame was endorsed as candidate by two of the eldest political parties in the East African nation, Liberal Party and the Social Democratic Party, as a Patriotic Front RPF candidate on July presidential race on Sunday. Joining the four smaller political parties which were already in coalition with the ruling RPF, Kagame, 66, has ruled over Rwanda for decades, where he won the presidency elections in 2003, 2010, and 2017 with more than 90% of the vote. Critics and rights groups accused him of ruling in a climate of fear that stifled dissent and free speech, as now Rwanda is set to hold presidential and parliamentary polls on the 15th of July. Many thanks for joining this live broadcast. We have a lot lined up for you in our news segment tonight, but first let us take a quick commercial break.
There's nothing that can happen to a man, not unless God allows it to happen.
Do according to him, and he shall love you. He shall love them, and he shall take care of them, because he says, those who love me, I will hold their hands till the end of time.
Invite someone to come to your house. One of the things that they cannot forget is the phone charge. When it comes to relationships and probably communication, that distance is not a barrier.
Yeah.
But it is in communication, in effective communication.
Oh, have you told your daughter how they acquire HIV and AIDS? When I go to speak in school, they will tell me, ukimwi ni mnyama mbaya. And no, sio mnyama. They have to know how it happens.
From a distance, the baby looks normal, and although her head is a bit smaller, I assume that is the norm for all newborns. But this assumption was wrong. This is not like any other normal baby, nor is it a newborn. The baby is abnormally tiny, and all her features appear weakly. Its head, hands, eyes, and legs, and in general the whole body are extra small, and as the mother explained, the baby lacks enough blood in its system. It was surely a sad scenario.
Everywhere. GBS.
Welcome back to the broadcast. Ivory Coast, the world's largest exporter of cocoa, is expected to increase the official cocoa fumigate price to 1,500 CFA francs, which is $2.47 US per kilograms, from Tuesday from the current 1,000 CFA. This comes as President Alassane Ouattara on Saturday validated a proposal for a price of between 1,100 and 1,200 CFA francs per kilogram before revising his decision, which directed for the prices to be even higher. Here are the details.
Cocoa prices have more than tripled over the last year as disease and the adverse weather were the major cause, pushing the global market to a third successive deficit. Nonetheless, the official farm gate price that growers could charge over their beans in Ivory Coast, a top producer, was yet to reflect this. Major companies such as Ashley, Nestle, Mondelez, that is the MDLZO, and the Barry Callebaut, that is Barnes, all buy cocoa from the Ivory Coast. In 2022, Ivory Coast and Ghana had boycotted the industry meetings in Brussels over the price dispute over the product, not forgetting that 6 million people in the nation relied mostly on the cocoa industry in the West African nation of the Ivory Coast.
In its effort to support migrants during the holy month of Ramadan amidst the New York City's ongoing immigration surge, the Bronx Mosque transformed itself into a crucial haven for migrants, particularly men from Senegal, facing the challenges of housing and feeding. The impact of the migration surge was acutely felt by New York City's Islamic community, through mosques becoming pivotal points of support for newcomers. The Islamic leaders went further and intensified their appeals for donations to meet the escalating needs of the migrants, ranging from financial assistance to essential supplies like food and clothing, all in provision towards Ramadan relief.
You're gonna get 40 or 60. They come more because they don't have nowhere to go. If they come to the mosque, we do what we can to feed them, to help them. The new one, they're not working, they don't have nothing yet. They stay in the mosque. I love to see them. I love to see what they're doing because some of them, they open the business now. Some of them, they get the working authorization. They work in some of them restaurant, some of them in a car wash.
An example-setting story emerged in a landmark event at a signing ceremony in the City Hall in Geneva, where representatives from armed groups in the Democratic Republic of Congo were seen signing pledges under a crystal chandelier to better protect civilians amidst escalating violence in the region. Here is the full report. Residents who have been watching the unfolding unrest in Haiti have been expressing their concerns for family and friends on the Caribbean island nation, same time narrating their ordeal of their flight being virtually held as prisoners in their own homes due to the ongoing violence that has been escalating in Haiti. Here are the details. Now moving on, the top United Nations Court on Thursday ordered Israel to take measures to improve the humanitarian situation in Gaza, including opening more land crossings to allow food, water, fuel, and other supplies into the war-ravaged enclave. The International Court of Justice had issued 2 new so-called provisional measures in a case brought by the South Africa accusing Israel of acts of genocide in its military campaign launched after October 7th attacks by the Hamas. The UN international aid groups stated aid deliveries had been impeded by the Israeli military restrictions and the ongoing hostilities in conjunction with the breakdown of public order. Palestinians in Gaza's southern city of Rafah were some 1.4 million people that were more than half of the territory's population, said that they had been struggling to make ends meet.
Only God's will is what keeps us alive. The aid coming is not enough, and the people are not fed. Everyone is deprived of everything, and our children are now suffering from anemia, and our girls faint when they work. There are no banks to release the salaries of employees. People want to buy everything and stock up their homes and fridges. But at the same time, goods are very expensive for both sellers and consumers. People don't have the cash to secure the needs of their families, their households.
Florida residents who have been watching the unfolding unrest in Haiti have been expressing their concerns for family and friends on the Caribbean island nation, same time narrating their ordeal of their plight of being virtually held as prisoners in their own homes due to the ongoing violence that has been escalating in Haiti. Here are the details.
Kosi Joseph, head of the Glasgow Clutch Foundation, had notably been working towards contributing to the healthcare and education provision, same time creating sports and opportunities in Haiti and the US for more than 2 decades, being one of the people who narrated their ordeal pertaining the Haiti's issue, which had now become a major international concern.
This is the worst that I've seen. I've never seen Haiti like this. I've never seen so much devastation. I've never seen so much. I've never felt so helpless and hopeless.
Armed gangs went on rampage about a month ago in Haiti, launching attacks on the prisons, police stations and the country's international airport, moving against the upscale neighborhoods and other districts in the Haiti capital Port-au-Prince, leaving scores of people killed and thousands homeless, amidst the violence that has presently brought the fears of the deepening hunger.
I have family in Port-au-Prince who are basically prisoners in their own home. They are in the heart of, they live near Croix des Bouquets, which is a gang, infested by the gang, and they're held hostage in their own home. They can't really go out because they don't feel safe. I mean, who wants to be in that situation? So it's heartbroken for everyone, and I think almost every Haitian, whether you're living outside of Haiti or in Haiti, is impacted by this. I mean, at some point it gets to be very traumatic.
The U.S. State Department and the Florida Department of the Emergency Management have partaken in running the chartered evacuation flights to get the U.S. citizens safely out of Haiti, with more than 200 people being flown back to Florida since the violence broke out. Jennifer Macau, GBS News.
Do keep your comments coming in through our SMS line 21144 and GBS TV Africa on all our social media handles. That international news brings us to our sports news. Let's get sporty. SS Assad qualified for the Mozartbet Cup quarterfinals by defeating Denmark F4 in post-match penalties on Sunday, March 31st at the Ukunda grounds. The match concluded with a 1-1 draw in regulation time. Mwinyi Chibato opened the scoring for Denmark in the 11th minute. This stalemate persisted until the halftime whistle, leaving the scoreline at 1-0. Following the interval, Chiwaya Muruche leveled the scores in the 80th minute for SS Assad. In the penalties, Juma Mwayao scored the winning penalty for SS Assad. Meanwhile, at the Mamboleo Stadium, AFC Leopards emerged victorious through KC Odhiambo's lone goal in the 57th minute. In the early kickoffs games, Division 1 B-side compelled defeat FKF National Super League side Mara Sugar 2-0. Kariobangi Sharks staged a comeback to secure a 2-1 victory over Ulinzi Stars at the Police Circle Stadium. Ulinzi Stars initiated the scoring in the second minute through Lumumba Issa goal. In the Kariobangi Sharks, Fortune Moto restored the party with his goal in the 20th minute. With 8 minutes remaining before the final whistle, John Makwata propelled Kariobangi Sharks into the lead, securing the game at 2-1. The upcoming fixtures feature Mozartbet Cup quarterfinals scheduled to take place on the 27th of April and 28th.
Kwa majina naitwa Munyi Lopez. Those are my famous names. My real names are Munyi Mutakuuza. Yeah, ni ndo head coach wa Denmark FC, ile ambayo ilikuwa na represent South Coast region, the third team. Technically, as I said previously, after the previous match Gor Mahia, nili predict nikasema the next match itakuwa ngumu zaidi because tunajuana, we are from the same locality, we're actually from the same table, we eat together. So nilikuwa na predict kwa ngoma itakuwa ngumu, and as seen, we got a first win to lead for the first, I think, 15 minutes. Tuka hold, lakini experience was a real factor in this match. Tukajaribu ku hold, equalize the final minutes, and yeah, tukaenda kwa penalties. Yeah, so it was like I predicted it, like itakuwa match ngumu because of that closeness of these teams. Sote tuko pamoja, tuna train, wakati mwingine tuna train pamoja, so tunajuana ulo ndani, apart from the experience ambao wako nayo because they're in a higher division than us, wako NSL, sisi tuko regional, so that experience aspect ndio imekuwa factor kwa team for that win.
Tulijaribu kuongea na vijana wetu tuwapress hapa jamaa juu, kwa sababu tuliona hakuwa ameanza kukatika, mazoezi yao naona kama yakuwa ni hafifu, lakini na sisi baada ya first half tumeambia vijana tuwapress juu, na ndio maana tumewalazimisha. Imeona second half imekuwa rahisi kwetu, na ndio Mungu amejalia tumepata bao la ukombozi. Kwa hiyo tumejiandaa vizuri.
President William Ruto called on the private sector to play a greater role in hosting the World Rally Championship Safari Rally, saying the global event presents huge untapped opportunities for business people. President Ruto asked them to participate and take advantage of the benefits the rally provides. The president pointed out that the WRC Safari Rally in Kenya was this time watched by over 85 million people in 170 countries globally, with over 50 international television channels airing it. He made the remarks on Sunday during the closing ceremony of the 2024 WRC Safari Rally at Hell's Gate in Naivasha, Nakuru County. The president said the government is willing to cede space to the private sector while continuing to support the event. He said that working with the private sector would make the event more efficient and cost-effective. President Ruto congratulated Kel Lavampera of Toyota Gazoo Racing for emerging victorious in the competitive race. He commended the Kenyan teams and drivers who participated in the rally, saying that they had made the country proud by holding their own in a highly competitive contest. Sports Cabinet Secretary Ababu Namwamba said the government is committed to nurturing young talents in the sport.
Cherish this partnership. We do not take it for granted that Kenya is the only round on African soil of the 13 rounds of the WRC. We want this partnership to stay on long into the future. May it only get better, deeper, better, swankier, better, tougher, as the Safari Rally is known. So, Your Excellency, let me conclude by acknowledging two things which have happened in the context of this rally. One, this rally has witnessed the culmination of a restructuring process that we have been undertaking on your instructions and with your involvement, Your Excellency, to make the WRC Safari Rally project better, more efficient, and more cost-effective. We want to assure you and our partners that we'll continue this process of reforming, improving this project so that it can deliver at the highest standard.
We've yet demonstrated as a country our expertise, our hospitality, our splendor as a nation, our tourist attraction as a country. And let me promise our visitors.
In Nairobi's poorest neighborhoods, a unique sport has been offering a ray of hope to the youth through the fencing society, often associated with the elite cultures, marking its mark in the heart of Kenya's urban landscape while gaining popularity among the youth in Nairobi, despite the challenges of limited equipment and resources. At the Savora Fencing Club in Huruma, young people have witnessed dressed in pristine white outfits, normally gathering to hone their skills, same time using it as a tool to escape the pressures emerging from the environment. Here is more on the same.
For some people like Mburu Wanyuike and Stephen Okalo, fencing has been transformating to their lives and the delinquency of coaching Kenya's national fencing team, their journey reflecting the power of sports to change lives.
When we started, I started with about 4 people. And now when I'm seeing I'm having good fences, I'm having about 45. And the school now, they have started taking it. So I know by our strategic plan, by 5 years, I know fencing will have reached somewhere.
With the mentorship and the training offered to the youth, Savora Fencing has not only produced talented fencers but also served as a beacon of hope for the community through the club shielding them from the dangers of their environment.
I used to be a gangster. I was in crime, and crime makes you feel isolated. It actually puts you in a place where you're isolated, making you feel depressed, having stress. And I chose fencing for a way for me to escape out of the hood and escape that lifestyle.
I can't imagine myself without this sport because it has kept me very busy. In my area, many girls have become teenage mothers, and that's not a wonderful life.
Initially, I had bad companies at home, but now that I'm in fencing, it has kept me busy, and now it's a better option for me because I feel happy doing it.
Despite the challenges, Savora Fencing still stands as a testament to the transformative power of sports in even the most challenging environments, and with determination and community support, these young fencers are carving a pathway from crime and towards a brighter future.
Sometimes it's tough when it comes to competing with well-equipped international countries who are well organized. So what we do, we just move on with the enthusiasm and the obsession. The fact that we don't have the equipment-wise, the ones that we have, limited ones, we use them. We don't complain or we don't have equipment. We just use what we got, and putting in the obsession and the enthusiasm and the passion combined.
Italy's Jannik Sinner cruised past Grigol Dimitrov in straight sets to win the Miami Open men's title. Jannik Sinner's win in Miami marks his second Masters 1000 title. It marks the third title of 2024 for the 22-year-old following his successes in Melbourne and Rotterdam. Sinner has lost just one match so far in the season, and he rises to a career-high second in the world rankings. Sinner becomes the first Italian to enter top two since ATP rankings were first published in 1973. Australian Open champion Sinner, who previously finished as runner-up in Miami in 2021 and 2023, defeated the Bulgarian 6-3, 6-1 After the first 3 games of the opening set, through with Dimitrov serving cleanly and Sinner dropping just 1 point on serve. It was the 32-year-old Bulgarian playing in his first Miami final who had the first opportunity to move ahead. But Dimitrov had his break point saved by Sinner, and from there, the young man took over, breaking serve in the very next game and forcing the world number 12 to save 2 further break points before wrapping up the set with a stunning backhand down the line. Sinner continued with his dominance in the second set, dropping just 3 points on the serve before seeing out victory on his first championship point with another backhand winner. Dimitrov will rise to a world ranking of 9 following his run to the final, which will be top seed Alcaraz and German fourth seed Alexander Zverev. It marks his first time in the top 10 since 2018. And that sports news brings us to the end of our news segment tonight. Here at GBS News at 9, we make your news our business. My name is Beatrice Njeri. Our sign language interpreter is Paul Mathenge. Good night.
Everywhere. GBS.